Hello again. Welcome to your Community Project Unit. This screencast will cover Unit 3 of your Certificate in Employment, Teamwork and Community Skills. By now, your group should have decided upon a project. This will be something out in the community and really relevant. Now, the first thing we're going to do is have a look at the workbook. You should have been given quite a few examples of projects that could have been done in the community. Give at least 2 examples of things you could have done. Please don't just put the name of the organisation you could have worked for. Please put exactly what you would have done there. For example, I might put something like Pilton House Care Home Sensory Garden. Okay? Now, moving on to the next page. With each project that you've put, please put the full title in here, so I might put Pilton House Project Garden, and the advantages and disadvantages of each project. Now, I will go through the imaginary Pilton House Garden project with you. So, the advantages of that project might be that it's outside. However, this might also be a disadvantage. Why? Because of the weather. An advantage of this project might also be lots to do. It might be a really big project. A disadvantage might be that you might not have the skills. Another advantage might be that it helps the group in the community. This should be an advantage of every project you look at. However, don't just assume that, because it might be that it only helps a specific group. You might be a type of team who want to have lots of impact, in which case this would not be a relevant project to you. Now, moving on. The next part of your workbook is going to ask you to describe how the team chose to do the project. Think about the following questions to help you. Your first sentence should be, our chosen project is. And then you can talk about what method you used, why did you use that method, and did you agree with the decision? This has got to be really specific. And the benefits to the local community. Remember to think about your advantages from earlier on. How will this project benefit the community? Now the tasks. A lot of people get really hung up on this part. Activities that you can do in a group are things like painting, lifting, digging, moving and cleaning. However, things that you can do alone, you can paint alone, but you cannot lift heavy objects. Alone tasks might include painting, cleaning, planting, but you could all do in a group, but you wouldn't do it as fast. So make sure that when you're saying about the alone activities, that you're saying that you would do that slower. It doesn't matter if you double up. For all of you, we would have discussed things that you will be doing on the project. If I was filling out this workbook, I would put my name is Robin, and I would put down that I am the team leader. The responsibilities while I'm out on project might be something like keeping everyone safe. I may have discussed with some of you that I'm very creative, so I might put down creative work, painting, and I would spell it correctly. Identifying any support to complete the tasks can be really difficult because you probably won't have much support from outside agencies, but you will have us. You will have your team leader and your assistant team leader, and you can list them here. Our skills are useful, please utilise them. Your timeline. You would have done this as a group. However, you need a copy for your portfolio. Please remember to put down a full date and a full activity. So, if I was doing a garden project, I might put down that I am clearing weeds, tidying any rubbish, and again, would spell it correctly. You'd be surprised how difficult this screencasting thing is. I might also be doing some shopping. Your last day, again, add the date in, will be an opening day. So do not put any activity in on that day. I will be passing a sheet round at some point to get a list of your equipment, materials and any fundraising activities. Now, this people can get, again, very hung up on. But it's really simple. Things that you will be buying, you might buy a spade. You will be buying paint, and a lot of people will just list paint. However, that means there's not enough for everyone else to write down. So maybe put things down like blue paint, yellow paint, all the different colours you will need. Flowers, you can say that you might buy some pansies, you might buy some azaleas. You can be really, really specific in that work. Risk assessments. I will go through this with you as a group to tell you what kind of hazards there might be. Hazards might include lifting. Everybody's at risk when you're lifting because you might drop it on somebody or you might not be able to carry that. So a risk management to that might be that the team leader will deliver some manual handling training. You've got to think about all of the possible risks that you could see on your project. Carrying out the project. You need to be able to show evidence of you completing a task that you are responsible for. I have used this example here. Rosemary and Britt were responsible for creating the wooden plaques that went on the wall in our Ashley School project. Here you can see that this is a photo of them putting up their plaques on the wall. They can have two examples of that in different areas. Group tasks would be the other image you just saw. This one. Clearing up this garden was a massive task and they had to do it as a group. You can see here that Emily is raking up the weeds towards Ryan, Britt is inspecting to make sure there are none left, and Sasha is lurking in the corner. But still, the three that are doing some work, this would be a good example of a group activity. Again, as with teamwork, please don't include group shots and selfies in your evidence. They don't evidence anything. Reviewing your project. You will probably be halfway through your community project by the time you get to this part. So if you are this far in the classroom in your video, then you have gone too far. Stop the video now. We will probably be in a garden or in an entrance hall or in a room somewhere doing a project when you're reading this. The review should be honest of where you are, how far into your project are you, and how are you getting on in relation to the original plan. And then I want you to take 2 timeline extracts and put the changes made. So it might be that day 1, only shopping day. You will more than likely find that you went on multiple shopping days, because you will find that you will not buy everything you need every single time. And finally, state the skills you have developed by completing the community project. Think about the actual skills you have learnt. You might find that you've got new carpentry skills. It might be that your team working skills have improved. Again, spell it correctly. It might also be that your leadership skills. Please put them down in this box. And don't forget to fill out the community project review in the My Team section of your portfolio. That is also assessed work. You have reached the end of this screencast and you should now be ready to hand in your community project work.